Minutes to 9. Think it's too late to win a Commonwealth medal? I mean, win one for yourself? Well, think again. The older competitors are cleaning up at the Games. There was a 60-year-old pistol shooter who came out of retirement, won a bronze. The oldest competitor in the whole Games is 79, won the mixed bowls on Sunday. And a 30-something former drinker and smoker and kebab eater came pretty high, 10th, I think, in the marathon. Dr. Graeme Close is reader in sports nutrition at Liverpool John Moores University and specialises in research on older athletes and is on the line. And Dr. Melanie Lang is former elite youth swimmer and expert on the sociology of youth sports, also joins us. Morning to you both.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I suppose the first thing is, Graeme, you've got to pick your sport.
Oh, absolutely, and that's a really important thing as well as picking your genes. But in terms of picking your sport, we know when we age we get a selective loss of the fast fibres, the type 2 fibres, so you could make an argument that let's pick a sport that's going to maybe offset that a little bit, and that's maybe why Steve Way is doing so well around about the age of 40 in the marathon.
Yeah, I mean, his success has raised a lot of eyebrows and it does seem to go against what you would expect. But you say there is a sort of scientific, physiological reason why it can be explained.
Absolutely, and I think we're going to see much more of this, and I think Steve Way is absolutely inspirational. But if we want even more inspiration, we can look to somebody like Ed Whitlock in Canada, who at the age of 73 was doing sub-3-hour marathons. Now, sub 3 hours puts him in the top 5% of runners in the world. So we can really maintain this as we age. The key to it is consistency and actually maintaining exercise as we progress through the lifespan. The problem is most of us leave school and we stop doing it. And we know that if we continue to give a muscle a stimulus, it will work.
And is part of the reason, Melanie, that we stop doing it, that there is such a kind of sense of youth around some sports, and your one, swimming, is the classic case, isn't it?
Very much so, yes. There is an idea, I think, in much of competitive sports culture, and particularly in some sports, swimming, diving is another one. Gymnastics also, that athletes peak very, very young. The idea traditionally has been that swimmers peak between age 16 and 21 and that they're very much over the hill by age just 24. And Hannah Miley, who won the 400 IM, was actually received quite a lot of criticism, suggesting that she was over the hill at just age 24, and she responded to that by going out and winning a gold medal.
But is it a socially imposed peak then? Is that what we're saying? That actually there is really no physiological reason why you shouldn't be winning swimming competitions into your 30s?
Well, there's plenty of examples of swimmers, not just in distance events like Hannah Miley's and Rebecca Adlington's longer distance events, but also in shorter events. Swimmers, Mark Foster, England's Mark Foster, is one of our most successful swimmers. He actually won a world silver medal in 2008 at 38. And Dara Torres, that was a sprint event. Dara Torres is also a sprinter, a US butterfly sprinter, and she won the US Nationals, a very competitive event, at age 40, and won a place on the Olympic swim team at 41. So there is very little reason. It is a culturally imposed idea, and a lot of the policies and practices, particularly in competitive youth swimming, encourage this idea, to perpetuate the idea that they have to start young.
Time for a big rethink, Graeme.
Oh, absolutely. I think one of the issues that we've got is that we've got a financial implication. So if we think of some of the swimmers, for example, who maybe can't afford to keep going and then maybe have to get a job, but if you want to keep going at it, you take Linford Christie, who sub 10 second 100 metres at 35. If he'd have stopped at 23, he would never be an Olympic champion. The muscle will maintain its ability to respond. We've done research in our lab on 70-year-old cyclists, and their muscle looks very much like a 20, 25-year-old young person because they've given it a lifetime of training. The key, as Steve Way says himself, is consistency. We've got to keep doing it. We know that as little as 2 weeks of detraining can start to affect the quality of muscle and what's going on.
Permanently?
No, it's reversible. But, as little as dropping your step count from 10,000 to 2,000 steps per day, that can start to cause insulin resistance and lots of things. So we need to keep active. And if you keep consistent and train that muscle, there's no reason why we're not going to see more and more 30 and 40-year-olds. And look at Bernard Hopkins, the light heavyweight champion of the world, and he's 49. So I think we're going to see much more of this because we now understand nutrition better. We know the nutrition needs of an older athlete are a little bit different. We know how to train older athletes a bit better. And if people have got the time and the ability to do it, we're going to see much more 40 and 50-year-olds.
You going to compete again, Melanie Lang?
Oh, I think my time has passed.
Oh, that's exactly the wrong thing to say after a discussion like that. Well, let's hope you, whatever you do. Thanks very much for talking to us this morning. Melanie Lang, Dr. Melanie Lang, and Dr. Graeme Close as well.
And we